Welcome back. Young people from all over South Africa are converging at Parliament in Cape Town today for the annual Youth Parliament. The focus is on education, economic freedom and unemployment. It is in line with Parliament's theme for 2012, namely education and learning to address youth unemployment, poverty and inequality. But to tell us more, we are joined by Ms. Lusizo Makhubela-Mashele, newly appointed chairperson of the Steering Committee for Youth Parliament. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome.
Morning, sir, and morning to the viewers at home.
It's the annual Youth Parliament today, but explain to us what exactly should we understand under Youth Parliament?
Youth Parliament is a sectoral parliament, first and foremost, that facilitates public participation from young people. So this year we are celebrating Youth Parliament under the theme of education and learning to address unemployment, poverty and inequality. So it is this sectoral parliament that facilitates young people to come to Parliament and we hear their views.
The representatives who will be representing young people, are they elected or appointed, and if so, by whom?
Representatives are coming from all over the country, from youth formations, from NGOs that are dealing with youth issues, young people from high schools, young people from universities, the National Youth Developmental Agency. It's young people broadly so who are coming in today.
Earlier in our discussions with some opposition parties and the ruling party in Parliament, there were concerns that opposition parties are being sidelined in the whole process. Are they now on board?
Yes, they are on board. You must understand, Kokeli, that they were not sidelined. The formation of this steering committee, the Youth Parliament Steering Committee, was formed last year in 2011 already. And from the ruling party, the composition have always been the same. Now, from the opposition, they changed names. So I think that was the facilitation of actually getting those parliamentarians on board, but everything is okay now. They are on board.
But what is the mandate of the Steering Committee and the Youth Parliament?
The mandate of the Steering Committee is to facilitate the process of public participation on youth issues. The Steering Committee facilitates this process and is the political overseer of facilitation of this process, of this sectoral parliament. You must understand that Parliament, through its public participation model, has sectoral parliaments, which is the Youth Parliament, a Women's Parliament, taking Parliament to the people, and Africa Day celebrations.
But Lusizo, how does it all come together? How do you decide, for instance, on a theme?
The theme, we come together as the Steering Committee, look at the program that we had the previous year, and look at topical issues that are currently affecting young people. Then the Steering Committee comes up with a theme, like this year's theme is education and learning to address challenges of unemployment, inequalities and poverty.
You've just mentioned those themes. Are you just talking about these issues, or will this Parliament actually come up with recommendations, and how do you deal with these issues?
We are not just talking about these issues. These are issues that are challenges that are facing young people throughout the country. We are saying, young people, come, have your views, tell us, give us recommendations, suggestions and proposal in dealing and in combating the scourge of unemployment, inequality and poverty. So the views that will be heard today in the Youth Parliament will be processed through the different departments. Parliament will, at the end of the day, get a report which will be tabled before the National Assembly, and therefore from there we would find ways to find, for these recommendations, to find expressions in the various departments.
Do you expect the youth wage subsidy to come up in today's deliberations?
Oh yes, of course, definitely. It's a topical issue for discussions currently, and you would not stop young people to raise the issue because it impacts to them directly.
The one theme, economic freedom in our lifetime, was this taken from the ANC Youth League's policy papers?
No, not at all. Remember that we attained liberation in 1994, but the economy has still not been transformed. Hence, people throughout the country want to transform the economy. It's a call from all South Africans that yes, we see that we are liberated, there is democracy in the country, but people are still confronted with poverty, inequalities.
But does this youth parliament enjoy the support of the national parliament?
Yes, of course. Remember, these sectoral parliaments are formed as a result of the presiding officers, and the report that will be all the recommendations and suggestions will put into a report that will be tabled before Parliament, and it's the responsibility of Parliament on its oversight role and on its public participation model to actually make sure that all the views and all the recommendations find expression in the different departments.
Okay, thank you very much, Lusizo. We've got to leave it right there. Our time is up. After the break, we'll listen